fantastic, and I'm again, truly honored to promote. I'm not going to belabor this too long, so I know Major Yoakum's really, so Michelle, if we could have you over here, your father and Will. Will, stand.
Yes, you may, sir.
And me too?
Sure.
If you want to.
Sure.
It's fine.
Come on up
Come
over here.
No dinosaurs, though. Just little boys. Come on.
Okay.
Just little boys.
Okay.
No dinosaurs. Thank you.
Please publish the order.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities of Michelle Lynn Steimer. In view of these qualities and demonstrated potential for increased responsibility, you are therefore promoted in the United States Army Reserve to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Effective date 01 July 2021. Signed, Gerald T. Mayer, Chief DA Promotions.
Need a picture. And let's get a picture for you. One. All right. Thank you.
At this time, Drew, come up here in front of us.
Go by grandma. Go to grandma.
Jerome, I state your name,
I, Michelle Lynn Steimer,
have been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States,
been graded Lieutenant Colonel,
in the grade of Lieutenant Colonel. Don't cry.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
discharge duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
The newest Lieutenant Colonel.
Well, thank you, everybody. I said I could do this in 2 to 4 minutes, and Mr. Mulder's timing me. Just want to make sure. But I did want to say thank you because this is probably it for me. I've had a great career, but I have my family, and I really want to do the last 3 to 4 years right and do the best I can. But this is probably the last chance I'll have to say thank you to some very special people. So I promise to be brief, but not like, and still say thanks to everybody. So I brought a picture, and that's my grandmother in World War II, and it's Women's Equity Month. And when she was in World War II, she had to leave because she married my grandfather. She's an Army Corps nurse in Italy. I have pictures of her hanging over patients when they were getting bombed, so she could protect them. But she got married at Camp Campbell, because Camp Campbell came to Fort Campbell in 1950, right in history lesson here. She had to leave. She could not stay. And she actually commissioned me. And so I think for her today, especially to be able to see her granddaughter made to Lieutenant Colonel when she couldn't make captain because she chose between the family and being an officer in the Army. So for me, that was important to acknowledge because both my grandparents served. And as a kid, I said, I'm never gonna be like my parents. I'm gonna do all these exciting things like every other teenager known to man, right? And oddly enough, my grandfather was a tank mechanic. I ended up being an ordnance officer. My dad owned a gas station, ended up being an ordnance officer, right? My mom's a nurse, ended up being a counselor. And I said I was gonna get married till I was 35, and I married you at 23. So, clearly, all of the things I thought I was gonna do or not do, that didn't happen. But I didn't get to this point. People always call me Wonder Woman as a joke. It is a joke because I'm not. The only reason I've been successful the last 21 years total since I enlisted was because of a great family. I married my husband. We only knew each other for 6 weeks. Fun fact. He asked me to marry him. I married him 3 weeks later. I've been married to him for almost 16 years here in 2 weeks. I wouldn't change a thing because he's the man that when I wanted to get a doctorate, he goes, let's figure out how to do it. when I wanted to stay in the Army after having kids, even when I deployed when Will was 4 months old, he had to be a single dad, he got home 2 weeks earlier. He said, let's make it work. He's never hindered my career, even when it meant putting his on the side. And my sons, Will has promoted me to every office. I was pregnant with him when I was a first lieutenant. So he has literally been at every promotion since he was born. And now he's bigger than me. That's why I wear the heels. And he and my son, they go through a lot. Drew and I have 5 tours between us. And they have never complained. You know, they've always made it work with a smile on their face, and I appreciate it. And to my mom and dad, and I promise I won't cry. I promise myself this. My grandfather was one of my best friends, and I had his draft card from World War II. And his whole platoon was killed in World War II. He was the only one left. And I actually have all of his VA letters, which made me become a counselor, because they actually said, return home and act like nothing happened. And I read those after I found them in his basement in a tin can, after he died. And I decided I was gonna help people the rest of my life. And my dad, because the person I am probably the most like in the entire world is my dad. My parents raised me very well. I'm an only child. I have a brother who passed away, so I'm different. I'm probably spoiled, as you can tell. My mom went to school when I was in high school. She got her degree the year before I did, and I was probably prouder of her than I was the day I walked across the stage with it. She worked full time. She raised me and sent me to Catholic school. And for parents that were a nurse and mechanic, that was no easy feat. They did whatever it took so that I'd be successful. So I owe that to them. And now they live 500 feet from me. My dad built his house next to mine. I'm like a little compound. And the only reason we're able to stay in the Army is my mother-in-law, my mom, my dad, my bonus parents, my best friend's parents, I was 8. When we went to Warfighter, all those people over there took rounds with my kids. Doctor's appointments, vaccines, you name it, they drove kids to gymnastics, everything. My kids didn't miss anything because I had all those people in my life. And my coworkers stood up and worked for me. Jim and Deb